This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, here I'm going to discuss some of the Infosys InfyTQ questions. Here this is one of the question from the Infosys InfyTQ based on the union all operator. Here we have two queries. Between the two queries, it requires to perform union all, and you know that union all eliminates the duplicates. Now will you try this question? I'll give you 1 minute of time. I will take 2 minutes of time. Take 2 minutes of time and try to solve the query. Try to solve the query. And answer the question. Please, quickly. Please try. Don't give up. I'm waiting here to give at least some of you give a response. Any answers? Here it is having two queries. This is the first query. I'm calling Q1. This is a second query. It is called Q2. And the result is to be sorted using the order by one descending order. Order by one descending order. So what I suggest you is you find the output of query 1 and find the output of query 2. Between them you perform union all and display the output in descending order of the first attribute in the result set. First attribute in the result set is consultation ID. Okay. Now first we'll see what is the output of Q1. Consultation ID and one more is patient ID. These are the two attributes which is in the result of Q1. Okay. Now how you have to evaluate the query? Evaluation of the query should be done based on the conditions. Here, what is the first condition where to char of in the last class I have explained what is to char, which is going to convert a date format into the required string format. To char of the date into month, which is equals to February, okay, which is equals to February, and fee should be greater than 250. Look at here, date should be February, first condition, and fee should be greater than 250, but it is less than 250. This tuple is not going to be selected. Here it is not February, it is February, and greater than 250, correct. So for this, we require to have consultation ID and patient ID. Now, what is a consultation ID? 1003. What is a patient ID? P903. P903. Okay. Next, it is February. The condition is fees greater than 250, but it is equals to 250. Now it is incorrect. It is January. It is March. It is February. Correct. And greater than 250. Correct. Now, what are the consultation ID and patient ID? 1007 is the consultation ID and P902 is the patient ID. 1007 and one more is P902. This is the output of Q1. Now you write output of Q2. Output of Q2. What is output of Q2? Again, consultation ID and patient ID. Consultation ID and patient ID. Output of Q2. What are the conditions? Department name should be GIN and fee should be less than or equal to 640. Department GIN, here look at, and fee should be less than or equal to 640. Less than or equal to 640, true. So what is the patient ID and consultation ID? Consultation ID 1003, patient ID P903. P903. And one more is here, department GIN and fees less than or equal 640, both are true. So that what is the patient consultation ID? 1006 and patient ID is P905. P905. Done. Now between them it is used union all operation. What union all will give you? Here I am going to write the final output. Here I am going to write the final output. Consultation ID and patient ID. So your final result should consisting of 2 plus 2, 4 rows, because it is a union all operator. Because 4 rows are possible, option B is directly wrong, because in option B only 3 rows are there. It is eliminating the duplicates. Here what tuples are there? 1003, 1007 and 1006. 376. Here also look. Here 1004 is given, that's why option C is wrong. And I have to check whether option A is correct or option D is correct. That I can decide based on the order by one attribute. What is a one attribute? Consultation ID. In what order it is to be displayed? Descending order. Descending order of consultation ID means here among the 4, 1007 is the first tuple to be displayed in the reverse order. So 1007 is there with option D. Option A is wrong. So what is the final output? 1007 and P902. Correct? Okay. Next tuple 1006 P905. Correct. Next is 1003. 2 tuples are there. And both are duplicates. 1003 P903, 1003 P903. This is an output of the query. This is how we have to solve the query. And moreover, you require to have a patience to understand the question and try to solve the question in the way I have solved it. Initially it will take time, it is accepted, but practice more the questions, you can able to understand, you can able to solve the questions of GATE examinations. That is possible. Okay, fine. I suggest you practice many questions. Any doubt with this? In the last class I told Vamshi, what you are listening, I don't know. What is MON? What is MON? Date format is to be converted into 3 letters of month. Look at in the last class, last question is this one only now. 2 char. Here in the date format, if it is MON, it is giving the 3 letters of a month. Vamshi, listen to me and revise in frequent intervals. Any doubt with this question? I hope no. I request you please try this. I request you please try this. Take 2 minutes of time again. Any answers? What is the answer for this question? Option A. Okay. Very good, Sai Charan. 102, 103, 105, 106. Okay, good. Any other answers? Option A. Very good, Naga Karthik. Nice, nice. Okay, happy. And I suggest please don't give up. Option A, Vamshi. Very good. Please don't give up. Please don't give up. Okay. Right. You have to try. You have to try. Okay. Look at here. What is the question? Union question. Because union question, you know the point that union eliminate the duplicates. First thing, union is going to eliminate the duplicates. Here we have a duplicates. So option B wrong. Here also we have a duplicates. So option C is wrong. Here also duplicates. Option D is wrong. So answer is option A. That's it. Over. Forget about the exact answer of the question. Forget. So what is the answer? Option A. You know the point that union eliminate the duplicates. Because union eliminate the duplicates, you just check. I just checked the answers, options. In all the options except option A, we have a duplicates. Because you know the point that union eliminate the duplicates, then you can say answer is option A. If you don't know, you have to evaluate the query. That will take time. So sometimes instead of your hard work, sometimes your smart work definitely works. Smart work. This is called smart work. Suppose if I have to evaluate this query and find the output, it may take more time. But I know the point. I know the point that union eliminate the duplicates. So that eliminated the duplicates. Then I selected the option A. Then answer will be the option A. Now somebody given some answer. So I didn't solve. Okay, I think 105 will be not there. Okay, fine. Okay. So this is called a smart work, but always smart work may not work, but sometimes wherever it is possible, you have to do it in this way. For other questions, you can save some time for this kind of questions. That time you can utilize for other questions. Okay. But concept is concept. Suppose you don't have any duplicates, but different answers are there, then you have to solve it now, like we have solved in the previous question. First, here we will see. This is a query 1. Here it is a query 2. And find the output of query 1 and query 2. Between them, you perform a union. Query 1 is selecting the student ID and percentage. From scholarship details, this table where issue date between 1st Jan 2019 and 5th Jan 2019. 1st to 5th Jan to June 2019. And amount should be greater than or equal to 4,000. Look at amount greater than or equal to 4,000 is correct. And date is 5th June. Surendra given 103, 107. Okay, fine. 5th June, 1st Jan 2019 to 5th June 2019. So it is 2018. So this is not works. Greater than or equal to 4,000, correct. And Jan to June 2019, this is correct. So what is the student ID? 103. What is the percentage? 98.54. 103, 98.54. Next, greater than or equal to 4,000. I'm calling this is first condition. It is wrong. Here true, and but it should be 1st Jan to 5th June. So it is 18. So incorrect. Greater than or equal to 4,000. It is 5th June 2019. Correct. So what is the student ID and percentage? 106 and 95.04. Okay. Next, it is wrong. Second query. What is the second query? Select student ID, comma amount. SID, comma amount. In the output of query 2, where percentage greater than 86. Two conditions are there, and one more condition is amount greater than or equal to 4,000. Here amount greater than or equal to 4,000. Percentage is greater than 86. Percentage greater than 86. Correct. So what is the student ID? 102. What amount? 4,000. Okay. Next. Here percentage greater than or equal greater than 86. True. And amount greater than or equal to 4,000. True. What is the student ID? 103. What is the amount? 5,000. Next, percentage greater than 86. Okay, but amount greater than or equal to 4,000 is incorrect. Here percentage greater than 86. Okay, greater than or equal to 5,000 is okay. So what is the student ID? 105. And what is the amount? 5,000. Okay, next, greater than 86 percentage, greater than or equal to 4,000. Correct. Student ID 106 and amount 4,000. And next, greater than 86, correct. Amount greater than or equal to 4,000 is incorrect. This is output of second query. This is output of first query. Now, between the output of first and second queries, we have to use union operator. Union operator is going to eliminate the duplicates. But what is the question you just observed? What will be the values of student ID in the output when the above query gets executed? Now, in the final output, what student IDs are going to be selected? What student IDs are going to be selected? 103, 106, 102. Here, 103, 106, 102. 103 already there, so duplicate is eliminated. And 105, correct. And 106 already there, duplicate, it is going to be eliminated. So what is the output of the final? What is output of the query? 103, 106, 102, 105. So 103, 102, 106, 105. This is an output of the query. This is how we have to solve the query. Okay, this is how we have to solve the question. Clear? And actually there is a one small flaw there in the question actually. Why? Because what is a flaw is, in the last class we have discussed that if set operations to be performed between the two queries, it requires that two queries output should be compatible. What is the compatibility? Number of attributes are same. So in query 1 and query 2 in the previous question, number of attributes are same, but corresponding attributes must have same domain name. But in the previous question, domain name is not matching. Why? Because in the first query output, percentage is a real number and amount is integer number. So because a domain name is not matching, this is incorrect. Actually, this is incorrect. So here, actually, it should be taken instead of amount, it should be taken percentage here. Then your query output should be correct. So why? Because set operations always requires the compatible relation instances. Between compatible relation instances, it is possible to perform set operations between them. Okay, chalo, done. Any doubt with this? Any doubt with this? If no, please solve the last question. One more question. So the more the questions you solve, the better the concept you are going to learn. So you will get a confidence if you solve the questions one by one, one by one. If you go on solving the questions, you are going to get a confidence on it. And moreover, I told you in the very beginning only, SQL is damn sure it is very, very, very important. And moreover, so I got a message from the time management that actually our classes are for 12 hours. I told you it is scheduled 12 hours, but because maybe because of the request from the students, it is changed to 15 hours. 15 hours means 15 classes. Okay, because we are getting additionally 3 classes now. So I think this entire week we will put more concentration on query languages. As I told you, query language, if a question is to be asked on databases, 99% you can expect a question on queries. This one only. Please focus on it. Any answer for this question? Sai Chiran, I think 105 will not be there, sir. Once see the date. Previous question. Na? Just give me 1 minute. 105. 105 is not there for query 1. 105 is there for query 2. Sai Charan. Any answers for this question? Oh, okay, Sai Charan, no issue, no issue. During my explanation, I may not see your messages. Once my explanation is completed, just I will open your message boxes, chat boxes, so that I can see the messages. Okay, no issue, no issue. You are putting your effort, that's enough. Initially, your answers may be wrong, but slowly your answers are going to become correct. Don't worry, it happens. Any answer for this question? Okay, answer is B. Narendra, good. Vamshi, B, good. Karthik, good. Venkat Avinash, B, good. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, just let me explain for everyone else of the classroom. Here, consider the tables employee and department given below. These are the two tables given, employee and department. And here the query is select EMP ID from employee where EMP name like. Here, this is query 1. What query 1 is finding? Employee ID is finding. What are the condition? EMP name like percentile E percentile. What is a like? Like is a pattern matching operator, and percentile specifies 0 or many characters, means 0 or many characters before E, 0 or many characters after E possible, means E should be there in the EMP name. And one more condition, salary should be below 25,000. Here E is there, salary should be below 25,000, but it is exactly 25,000. It is incorrect. And here E should be, he is there, but salary should be below 25,000 is incorrect. Here E is not there. Here E is not there. Here E is there. Salary below 25,000 is correct. So what is the EMP ID? E105. E105 is the output. And here a Jenny E there, but salary below 25,000 is not correct. Okay, that is over. Next, what is the output of the query 2? This is a query 2. Query 2 output. What is the query 2 output? Is finding EID. Query 2 is also finding employee ID. Okay, EID. Now, what EIDs are possible? Okay, here inner join is used. Actually, I didn't discuss what is meaning of join. Joining means combining two tables. That I'm going to discuss after aggregate functions and group by class. I'm going to discuss about joins mostly tomorrow only. But okay, let me explain what is meaning of join. Joining means combining the related records of two tables. Combining related records of two tables with based on some condition. Here you look at condition. D department ID equal to E department ID. D department, here this is we can call employee E. This is employee E, department D. Condition is D department ID, this one is equals to E department, this one should be equal. And how comparison is to be done? Here D902 is matching with D902. D902 matching. D902 here is matching. And look at D901 is matching with this. and also you check it, D901 is also matching with this, and finally D903 is matching with this. Okay, D903 is matching with this. Look at, look at, and actually this is called a joining, combining two relations. Here we have a condition. First condition is joining based on the this condition, D department ID equal to E department ID. Here E and D are called aliases, means tables are referred with some name we call alias names. That I'm going to discuss when I'm discussing joins. Now for the sake of question, please listen to me. Here, what is the second condition? Department name in. Department name is there in this. In training, comma testing. What is the in operator? In operator is going to return true if the value is inside a, if value is there in the set. Testing is there, training is there, but we don't have a manufacturing. Because we don't have a manufacturing, whichever is mapping with D902, that all I'm eliminating. So how many are mapping? Only 3 are mapping. For that 3, it is going to find the outputs. What output it is going to find? EMP ID. So for these 3, what is the EMP ID here? E103, and one more is E105, and one more is E106. E103, E105, E106. Okay. Now between these 3 outputs, between these 2 query outputs, we have to perform union between them. We have to perform union between them. So what is the final output? EID should be E105, E103, E105 duplicate, that is eliminated, and E106. Okay, E106. This is a final output. Now look at E103, 105, 105. Here also duplicates are there, eliminated. Here you can see E101 is not there. I can eliminate this output. And here E106, 105 is there, but not 103. That's why it is wrong. Now what is left? E103, 105, 106. That is an option B. B is the correct answer for the question. Okay. So we will discuss very detailed way what is inner join and all in the next class. Okay, hopefully. Okay, these are the few collection of questions which is based on the set manipulation operators, union, intersect, select, minus operators. We have discussed some questions on it. Now I'm going to discuss some. I'm going to discuss a concept called aggregate functions. Here we look at. Sorry. Here I'm going to discuss a concept called aggregate functions. Then followed by I'm going to discuss group by and having class. Look at. Here, now I'm going to continue my session with aggregate functions. Aggregate functions. Let me write neatly. What is aggregate functions? Aggregate functions are functions. Aggregate functions are functions which it takes one set of values as input and returns one value as output. And here the query language SQL supports 5 built-in aggregate functions. 5 built-in aggregate functions. That 5 built-in aggregate functions are called sum, minimum, maximum, average, and count. So means we can, again I need not to explain separately what is sum, minimum, maximum, average. What is sum, minimum, maximum, average? Sum means sum of values in that particular attribute, minimum of minimum values in that particular attribute, maximum value, average value, count. Okay. So these are the 5 aggregate functions which is going to be performed, which is going to be executed on a group of values. That's why these aggregate functions also called group functions. Group functions. It is called group functions because this is going to be calculated. Some minimum, maximum, average, and count is going to be computed on group of values. That's why we can call these are group functions also. Group functions also. Now let me explain how this min, max, sum, average, and count is going to work. Here to explain you this, I'll be creating one table. Create table student. I wanted to take roll number, which is an integer, name, which is char of 10 characters, and one more I will take m1 marks 1, let us say integer, and I will take m2, let us say integer, marks 1, marks 2, assuming marks in subject 1, marks in subject 2, assuming. Okay, now this is a table I wanted to create it. Click run. Okay, name is already used by an existing object, means already I used a table name called stud. So because already I used a table name called stud, that with some different attributes are there. Now I don't want that stud table which I have already created. Now I wanted to delete the table which is already created. Now I wanted to create a student table freshly. Now what should I do to remove that student table which is already there in the database? Which query we have to use? Which query we have to use to delete the student table which is already there in the database? Tell me. At least one. Which query I should use? Truncate. Truncate is only for deletion of a rows, Akhil. Truncate is for deleting the rows and saving the and committing the database. But student table is as it is will be there. Narendra, good. We have to use a drop command. If I use a drop command, it is going to delete the entire table along with its structure also. But truncate is not going to eliminate, not going to remove the structure. To remove the structure also we have to use a drop. So what I suggest you is, first you drop the existing table with name student. How to drop? Drop. You write table. Which table you wanted to drop? Student table. Suppose I wanted to drop student table. Okay. Now table is dropped. Now I'll be creating freshly a new table. A table is created. Now I wanted to insert some values into it so that I can execute the queries and explain it. Insert into student values. What values I wanted to insert? Let us say now I want to insert some roll number 1. I wanted to insert some values. Roll number 1 and the name Akhil, marks in subject 1 10, marks in subject 2 5. One row inserted. One more row. Just I wanted to insert some rows. So 2, Abhi, I don't want to insert any value in marks 1. So if I don't want to insert any value in marks 1, then I have to use null. Okay. And marks 2 10. This one I wanted to insert. Now one row is inserted. Now 2 rows are inserted. Just I wanted to insert one more row with rule number 3. Mahi. And I want to insert value 20. And here I want to insert 15 marks. One more student. So like this, I wanted to insert some set of records. So 4. Priya. And I don't want to insert any value here. So if I don't want to insert any value, you have to use null. Some values I'm inserted. Just let me insert. It won't take much time. Just one more row. I wanted to insert 6 rows. Okay, total 6 rows have inserted. Just display the table for understanding so that you can write a query. Select how to display the table. You have to use this query, select star from table name. What is the table name? Student. Okay, click on run. Now here I have inserted 6 records. Okay, here I have inserted 6 records. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Akhil, Abhi, Mahi, Priya, Kiran, Swati with some marks 1. Marks 1 is having some null values for Abhi, Priya and Swati, and marks 2 no null values are there. Now here I would like to explain some points of aggregate functions with respect to query. Now if I wanted to find minimum value, minimum marks in M1 subject, marks 1, subject 1. So how to write a query to find the minimum marks in subject 1? We have to write select minimum min of here I used attribute name is M1, min of M1 from student, min of 1 from student. So what is the meaning here? It is going to consider M1 column. It is going to consider M1 column. In the M1 column, we have values 10, 20, 13. And also we have a nulls also. Because we have a nulls also, what it is going to done with the null values? It is going to ignore the null values. Nulls are not going to be considered. Here the first point I'm telling you, nulls are not going to be considered by the aggregate functions. Because nulls are not considered, now min of M1, it is going to consider only values. What values are there in M1 column? 10, 20, 30. In that, which is a minimum 10, that is going to be outputted. Here you can see min of M1 is 10. And here, moreover, what is the output column name? You just observe min of M1. If I wanted output column name instead of min of M1, I wanted some meaningful name. If I wanted to have some meaningful name, we have to use aliases. Aliases you can write by using as keyword. Min of M1 as what column name you want to display. So I wanted to display some column name is minimum. This is called alias name. Alias name means Instead of min of m1, it is going to display the output column name is minimum, which I have given you, which I have used as an alias. Look at now what is the output column name in the bottom of the screen. You can see the output column name is minimum. Okay. Now similarly, you can find here what is the point you have to observe. Aggregate functions ignores null values. This is the first point. Aggregate functions ignores null values. Suppose if you wanted to find max, if you wanted to find max, you can write max of, let us say, m2. So what values are there in the student table? Here we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is there. What is the max of m2? Max of m2 is 30. It has to display max of m2 is 30. Click run. So I am getting the maximum. So here I have used the name is minimum, but usage of this name is optional. If you wanted, you can use some names. Suppose you don't want any names, then output column name will be the function name itself. Select max of m2. So what it is giving, max of m2 is 30. So the first point is minimum, maximum, sum, average, count. These are aggregate functions, ignores null values. And now here you look at, this is a student table. We have having Akhil, Abhi, Mahi, Priya, Kiran, Swati is there. Suppose if I write select max of name, you tell me, is it possible to use max of name? Is it possible to use max of name? If it is possible to use max of name, then you tell me what output this query is going to display. Do we use max of name? So what is the output of this query? Now my question is simple. I have shown you table on the screen and I'm asking you what is the output of this query. Select max of name from student. Is it allowed or not? If it is not, if it is allowed, what is the output? How it is displaying the output? If it is not allowed, what is the reason for error? As we used char data type, I think number. And do remember, Narendra, actually minimum and maximum you can use even for character types also, even for char data type also. Max of name is valid one. If max of name is valid one, then what it is going to display the output? Kiran. Why Kiran? Why Kiran? Akhil, Kiran is incorrect. Swati is correct. Why? Because in alphabetical order of all the students, whichever comes last is the maximum, whichever comes first is the minimum. Okay, whichever comes last is the maximum, whichever comes first is the minimum. Okay, fine. So means minimum and maximum we can use even with text type of data. Here I wanted to give one point. In this one, min and max will be used with integer type data and also to be used with character type of data. But if you see, if I use sum of name, if I write sum of name, can you tell me, is the sum of name is valid one? Is it valid? It is invalid. Why? Because sum and average will works only with integer types, not with the text type. So sum and average both are works only with integer type of data, but not with the character type of data. That point also you do remember, keep in mind. Okay, next. But if I write sum of m1, will it be allowed? Sum of m1, will it be allowed? Will it be allowed? Yes, it is allowed. So what is the table data? What is the table data? This is the table data. Now if I execute this sum of m1, what output I am going to expect? I'm going to expect what output? I'm going to expect output 60. Correct. So means what happens with null, because nulls are there in M1 column. So what happens with null? Nulls are ignored. As you know, aggregate functions ignores null. So sum of M1 is 60. Now if I write sum of M1, if I write sum of M1 plus M2 from student, can you expect what output is possible for this query? First, I will show you on the screen the student table. This is a student table. Now, if I execute this query, now can you expect what output of this query? Select sum of M1 plus M2 from student. Select sum of M1 plus M2 from student. What is the output of the query possible? 15, Surendra, 15, 10, 35 and so on. Okay. Do remember, I told you one point, aggregate functions are functions which takes one set of values as input and returns only one value as output. And do remember, if I am using an aggregate function, always output of the aggregate function is only one value, not more than one value. So do remember that point, Vamshi and Surendra, you don't get multiple outputs, you will get only one output. Okay, chalo. What is that output? What output you can expect? What is that one output you expect? $165. Sai Charan, very good. Sai Charan, 165, but 165 is absolute wrong answer. Surendra, 15 is also wrong, Surendra. 30 is also wrong. Teja Moparthi. See, first look at what output it is giving. It is giving 105. So then you may be shocked, sir, how 105? Let me explain. Why 105? I will explain you. First, let me display the table so that I can explain you. What is the output of sum of M1 plus M2? 105. Here, what is a null? Null is not 0. That's point I discussed already. Null is not a 0. When null is not a 0, when you perform the sum of M1 plus M2 of the second tuple, so in the second tuple, that is 2 Abhi, in the second tuple 2 Abhi, you look at that Abhi M1 marks is not given. Abhi M1 marks is null. Then what is to be done first? M1 plus M2 is to be calculated. Null is going to be added with 10 because null is not a 0. When null is not a 0, adding null with 10 is it going to be a 10? Is it going to be a 10? No. Why? Because null is not a 0. When null is not a 0, then what is the meaning of null plus 10? Then what is the meaning of null plus 10? So null plus 10, null is unknown. Na? The simple meaning that null is unknown. When null is unknown, adding anything to unknown, it is going to become unknown only. It never become known. So if you add anything to null, it is going to become, adding anything to unknown, it is going to become unknown only. It will never be known. Simple like, what is the, how many gallons of water is there in the ocean? Is it known? It is unknown. To the ocean, if I add 1 liter of water, adding something known to unknown, is it going to become a known? No, it is going to become unknown. Unknown means null. Okay, so the point is adding anything, any known value to unknown, it is going to become unknown only. That is null itself. That's why the null is going to be ignored. That is the first point I told you. Null is going to be ignored. Because null is ignored, only values are considered. Now first 10 plus 5 is going to be considered. What is the 10 plus 5? 15. Because second tuple is null plus 10. Null plus 10 is null. Keep in mind, null plus 10 is always null. Then 20 plus 15, that is 35. Previously 15, now 35. That is 50. Now null plus 10, null, ignore. 30 plus 25, 55. Previously 50 is there, now 55, 105. Again last tuple null plus 30, null plus 30, null, ignore. So what is the output of this query? So it is going to give you 105. Click on run, you can see output 105. So what is the point here I am going to explain you is null plus anything is null. Okay, null plus anything is null. Keep in mind that point. Now, here I will be giving one more question. Select average of AVG of M1. Select AVG of M1. So what is the output you can expect? AVG of M1. AVG of M1. Sudarshanachari. Surendra null. Why null, Surendra? Sudarshanachari 10. So here I will give you some options. Option A null, option B 10, option C 20, option D error. What is the average of M1? Null, 10, 20, error. What is the output of this query? 20. Null given, some student given null, some student given 20, some student given null. Okay, null, 10, 20 given. Anyone say error? No error, first thing. Okay. So how many of you say it is null? And do remember, very first point I told you, Surendra, and Teja Moparthi. Very first point I told you, aggregate functions ignores null. So average is an aggregate function. Aggregate functions are going to ignore the null. Because it is going to ignore the null, is the null is going to be considered by the average? No, only values are considered. What values are there? 10, 20, 30. Now 10 plus average is sum by count na. So 10 plus 20 plus 30, it is going to become 60. Now it is 60 by 3 or 60 by 6. Is it 60 by 3 or 60 by 6? It is 60 by 3. Very good, Sudarshanachari. Why? Because Vamshi good. Why? Because some average is some number of values, sum of values by number of values. How many values are summed up? 3 values. So that by 3. So by 3 means 10 plus 20 plus 30 by 3 will give you 20. Look at. See, average of M1 is 20. Clear? Okay. Then I will give you one more. Count. Count of M1. What is the count of M1? Can anyone give you answer? Count of M1. What is a count? Count is going to return how many values are there in the column. How many values are there in the column? 3 values are there. Because 3 values are there, count of M1 going to give you 3. Suppose if I write count of name, if I write count of name, what it is going to return? What it is going to return? 6. Very good. Why? Because 6 values are there in the name column. Suppose if I write count of star, here what is a star specifies? Star specifies rows now. Star specifies rows. Because star specifies rows, what is the count of star? What is the count of star? Count of star is 6. Count of star is 6. Why? Because we have 6 rows. 6 rows. Now if I write count of 10, if I write count of 10, what it is going to return? So just let me display the table. Here, count of 10, what it is going to display? What is output of this query? 2. Why Naga Karthik 2? Why 3? Surendra? And moreover, it is not that how many 10s are there in the table. Okay, look at what it is giving. It is 6. So what is the meaning? Count of what is 10? 10 is called a constant. If I use constant inside a count, then also it is working. If I use a constant inside a count, then also it is working. So means count of constant will give you 6 rows. So means count can be used with any type of data. Here min and max is used with integer and character. Sum and average will be used only with integer, but character can be used with anything. Means I can use integer type of data or character type of data. Even if I use a constant also it works. So here you have to note a point that count of constant will give you number of rows. Count of constant will give you number of rows. In one of the class, one student asked me, sir, what happens if I write count of null? What happens if I write count of null? Can anyone tell me what happens if I write count of null? Will it give you error? Will it give you error? Click on it, check it out. No. So it is giving 0. Why? Because null is not a value. What is count of null? 0. Why? Null is not a value. Null is not a value means when there is no values are there, then if no values are there means null means no values. No values means that count is going to return 0. Count is going to return 0. Do remember this point, because this is also one of the question which was asked in one of the interviews. Count of null. What is a null? Null means no values. When no values are there, actually count is going to return how many values or how many tuples are there, because null is going to be ignored, because null, as I told you, aggregate functions ignores null. Because aggregate functions ignores null, I'm using count of null only. So means if nothing is there, then the count is going to return 0. Count of null is going to return 0, but count of constant going to return number of rows. Fine. These are the aggregate functions. Okay. These are the aggregate functions. Based on these aggregate functions, tomorrow I'm going to discuss the concept of group by and having classes. Okay. That we will discuss in the tomorrow's class. Here Surendra is keep on asking me max of add of m1 comma m2, and Surendra, keep in mind we do have a max function, but we don't have an add function. We don't have an add function. Keep in mind, we don't have an add function. Okay. Okay, max of sum of m1 comma m2. And do remember, if you write Surendra sum of m1 comma m2, as I told you, aggregate functions are functions which takes only one set of values as input. Which takes only one set of values as input. You can see on the definition. But if I write m1 comma m2, it is giving two sets. Because it is giving two sets, it won't work. It won't work. Okay. So instead, if possible, you can try in this way. Count of sum of m1, nesting of aggregate functions. Sum of m1 will give you 60, but count of 60 will give you 1. Okay, will nesting of aggregate functions allowed or not? Nesting of group functions without group by is not allowed. Nesting group functions. Nesting of group functions is not allowed. Keep in mind, Surendra, nesting of group functions is not allowed. Keep in mind that point. Nesting of group functions is allowed if you use a group by class. That group by class I am going to discuss in the tomorrow session. Okay. So what is the point? Nesting of, here in the bottom of the screen you can see, nesting of group functions without group by is not possible. Here I will write that note also. Nesting of group functions means aggregate functions without group by is not possible. Without group by is not possible. Without group by is not possible. Okay, fine. That's about today's session. Tomorrow we will continue our discussion with group by and having class. Okay, then followed by joins. Tomorrow I'm going to start with the joins, but some basics we have discussed in the today's session also. Thank you. Good day. If you have any doubts, if you have any specific doubts, you can ask me. I'll wait for some time. If no doubts, then happily leave the session. Thank you, Surendra. Thank you, Sudarshanachari.